The following is a Productions original series.
Hello and welcome to Walk and Roll Live. I'm Doug Vincent, joined by Addie Rich. Our podcast is dedicated to amplifying the voices of the disability community. I'm a polio survivor, wheelchair user, and Addie is here. Hello.
Hello. I have cerebral palsy today, same as yesterday.
Same as the day before.
Same as the day before.
All right. And we haven't said it in a bit, but we tell you that to give you a context for the rest of the show when we have our viewpoints, right? And I think we're going to kind of go deep into that a little bit today. So we'll get to that. How was your week?
It was good. It was uneventful, which is what we prefer.
Yeah.
When it comes to work, I prefer to float along. So happy.
Good.
Happy
And things are kind of an upturn at work. I know it's been a little rocky lately. I don't know if we've shared that.
Let's not go that far. Not go that far. But keep your head down, fly low. There you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
And you?
Well, we had the big birthday celebration over the weekend. And
yeah, I miss tacos. Are you older and wiser or just older?
Older. Yeah, definitely older. I think it's for others to decide whether I'm wiser or not. But it could not have been better.
Nice.
It really could not have been better. I was stressing on, so many things that I didn't need to be stressing on. Just, how it is when you're putting together something and people are coming over and all that. And
exactly.
Want everything to go well. And it just, couldn't have gone better. And then one of the biggest things was it's been hot here. It's been a mild summer. By the time we get to August here, it's just like around 100. It can go 30 days without going below, at night even, 80, starts the next morning all over again and you're 105, 10, 15.
I know we were worried about that last week.
Yeah.
Did Mother Nature smile upon you?
So I wake up and I get ready because my buddy's coming over early he's got some tables and chairs he's going to help me with. He's got a one of those pop-up tent type things. So we got a little shade in the background and or in the backyard. I got a new umbrella for my patio thing. So, we could have all huddled inside if people didn't want to sit outside in 105 degrees, which the day before was like 105, 106, something like that.
Yeah.
But, I didn't want people to be miserable. So I get out of the shower and I'm like, I feel like I hear water running, so is the toilet running? I'm looking, no. Look, did I leave a faucet on? I look in the sink in the bathroom, no. Well, I have a skylight in the bathroom and I look up and it's pouring rain.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, no, but it turned out to be a good thing. It knocked the temperature down at least 20 degrees.
Amazing. That's what I love when the rain pops up here, too.
Yeah. And the weird thing is from what I could see out the skylight was total sunshine. I couldn't see a cloud. So where the rain was coming from.
It's a sun shower.
Yeah. It definitely was one of those. So within an hour or two, though, everything was kind of dry, but you could just see the big thunderclouds moving in.
Okay.
So then it rained again, but it stopped. And so while everybody was here, I don't think it got above 90, which was fine, nice. 85 to 90.
Still hot, but nice.
Yeah, so everybody hung out in the backyard. There was a few people in the house. Just had a great time. Yeah.
Mother Nature was giving you a birthday present.
Yes. Yeah, and everything else. It was just so great to see everybody. And, the other thing, too, at least for me, I was a little apprehensive about, because your life, you have friends in different areas of your life that have never met each other. They don't know each other, So it's something like this. You're bringing all those friends together, and I'm not thinking a fight's going to break out or anything like that. But I'm just, I don't want it to be awkward, and I don't want everybody to kind of be off sequestered in their little areas, which tends to happen, right? So a little bit of that, but there was a lot of, intermingling and all that. The food was great. My daughter, thank her so much for everything that she did to pick up things before she came and helped me set up early. And And my buddy Phil, I couldn't have done it without him, just days in advance and then hours in advance when he came and, loaned me stuff and set everything up and tore everything down at the end of the day. So, yeah, it was great. And the Aguiars from the Aguiar Professional Training Studio were here and
Fun.
have a little fun on Dan's expense. So it's Suzette and Dan. And I said, you want to take a little tour of the Aguiar Professional Training Studio. And, Suzette was excited and Dan was a little bit reserved, I thought. And then, so we're like, okay, come on. And Dan, it dawned on Dan. He's like, oh, it's here.
Ding dong.
Yeah. He didn't, I can understand that. Just didn't occur to him that it was actually here. So, and there was a number of other people, of course. There's friends of mine that I've known forever that are in radio, so they were curious to see it. So that was kind of nice to give the tours in here. And a lot of people hadn't seen the big remodel in the kitchen that I had done like 3 years ago. So, got a lot of nice compliments on that. So just a great day. And of course, probably, I don't know if quite half the people, but I said no gifts, and probably half the people brought something, so, and I knew that would happen. So God bless them. Good day. Good day.
Yay.
One of my
How
best
were the
birthdays
tacos?
ever. Tacos.
I mean, I know you love people, but I love tacos.
Yes. They were great, just as I thought. And, a couple of people, hey, let me have his number. So hopefully I can throw some more business his way as well.
Support small, people.
Mm-hmm. So I texted you yesterday because I saw a post that one of our former guests, kind of a quad, had posted. And it was interesting. It was one of those posts, which there's so many these days, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this. You see a post, and it's like, okay, I got to go to the comments, right? That's where, the real fun is. You want to explain what we saw?
Well, I mean, I think the comments are that, everybody has an opinion, and keyboard warriors are alive and well.
Yeah. Well, explain the post first. Kind of paint that picture real quick, and then we'll kind of dive into that a little bit.
So the picture was that kind of quad, Kara, is at a Target store, and she is looking for the new Barbie, the wheelchair Barbie, which is awesome. But she arrives in the toy section to realize that the wheelchair Barbie is on the very tip-top shelf where herself and or little girls in a wheelchair that might be looking for something that looks like them would never see it.
Yeah. Or be able to get it if they did see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they may never see it and or not be able to get to it, especially if they're alone and don't have as much mobility. Thus begins her commentary to target those people who might be A, looking for the doll, or B, not realizing what they're doing by putting it where they are.
And she says, I'm going to see if I can get this down. Now, go back and find the episode with her, and you'll get a flavor for what she's all about. And I'm watching this thing thinking she's going to grab one of the other toys and start throwing it up there to knock it down or something wild, because that's kind of her personality, right? But no, she kind of scoots her chair over and kind of gets on the, hops up on the wheel and uses that as a seat to get a little more, vertical. And,
which also makes me nervous because that's also Kira's style. But I'm like, and now she busts her head open trying to get the Barbie. So I was very glad when she knocked it down into her lap fairly effortlessly.
All went well. So at that point, then, and then I think at that point is where I went to the comments, and immediately it was, I don't know, I can't go back to that moment and think of what I was really expecting, but it was the very first one right out the box. And I was looking for it when we were going to come on and do this, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if it was deleted because
there's so many comments.
Oh, yeah, that's it. There's so many now that it might have just gotten lost in there. But it was all about these people. All they do is complain about. I'm like, whoa, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, these people are they. Yeah. Way to rage post, Couldn't you just ask for help? That was like 3 and 4 different comments. I'm like, okay. So, maybe I'll let you go first, but we have different thoughts on that.
We do.
And I don't mean different from one another, but we have a variety of thoughts for each of us. Go ahead.
Right. We have, you and I always, I would say, tend to lean on the side of being gentle to the people who might have done something that they weren't doing it maliciously, or like thinking, I'll put this up here and they'll never see it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I tend to be the one to think it was an omission by ignorance, not by choice. And I think, but I also get how people get like ragey. Like, they have a keyboard, they can say what they want. So it's just unfortunate that like people feel bulletproof with a keyboard. Right. I think that's what was felt most deeply to me. Not even about the post, but like the fact that you feel insulated enough to put your own vitriol out there about whatever topic is always frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, and I didn't share this with you, so I'll share it now. A big part of our community wants to be treated equally. Mm-hmm. Well, what's more democratic than that? We got treated equally in there with some of those comments. We got that rage stuff that you see on any comment that you go to on social media now about the most benign things. I'm constantly, and I think all of us are, just shocked sometimes about, how you go to some sweet post and then you go read the comments and you'll find plenty of people that have an issue with it. I'm like, I never thought of it that way. It seemed very nice to
totally.
me. Yeah.
There's one of the things that I really, one of the girls that I follow now that I'm getting older, it's called the We Do Not Care Club. And it's really, it blossomed from one lady, but now it's blossomed into this huge thing where everybody, you can kind of put stuff you don't care about, right? Like, I do not care because I'm this age about whether or not I wear deodorant or whatever, right? So this girl posted about, like, she doesn't care that she's a little more chubby and she went to this winery. Okay, it was a very cute picture with her husband, and she was talking about how she was happy to have the memory and be alive and do these things. Similar to, Kira's post, people are blasting her for being overweight and being this age and like all the things. And I'm like, literally, the lady was saying she had a nice time and she didn't care. I think that just shows you. Pick a topic, people are going to be assholes. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not bleeping myself for that one.
And some of these people, I don't know if they follow Kara or if they just stumbled upon it. I don't know, but as I'm watching this, I'm thinking this is really tame for her. Because she then goes and talks to the employees. Did she post that on there or just come back and comment on it?
She comes back and says she spoke to someone, and I'm like, good. Like, Kira normally, I love her, but I think she would like knock all the Barbies down, move a Barbie, and put that Barbie there.
Right in the middle, so you can't miss it. Yeah.
She would move things around on her own accord, I think, in general, to the stories we've heard from her. So to take the time to like go and educate someone and say, hey, this is like hurtful, or is there something we can do about this as a team? That's progress. Or not even progress, but I mean like tame.
I mean, of course, there is a part of me that thinks you're putting, a toy of somebody in a wheelchair on the shelf. It didn't enter your mind that maybe you might put it where they could get it, but I think like we were saying before we started recording is, any store we go into, there's 50% of the stuff we can't reach. Mm-hmm. What would they do? What would you have them do? Would they have a store that has shelves that don't go any higher than 3 or 4 feet? Got to be some middle ground here somewhere. Sometimes you have to ask for help. Sometimes you have to get up on your wheel and knock it down or whatever. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that one. I think, if you have another opinion, we'd love to hear it, in our comments section.
Debate is healthy.
Yeah. So I'm not going to even go because we went probably longer than we normally do at this point. But, I went to the doctor today and there was a couple of things. I thought we're kind of humorous, but we'll see if we can get to them another time. I want to thank Neshama and Brandy. Thank you for coming on last week as we explore invisible disabilities here during the month of August. And we've got one more, so we're going to have a returning guest on, Jen Larios. You can go back to January 21st was her original episode, and the reason we invited her on she was somebody with an invisible disability who has kind of transitioned into something more visible. So we kind of get two perspectives in one. So we'll kind of explore that a little bit when we come back from the Agyar Professional Training Studio.
At Agyar Professional Training, we know that your greatest asset is your team. Investing in their development, knowledge, and happiness is essential for your business's success and growth. To achieve new heights, it's important to hire intelligent, talented individuals and empower them to excel in their areas of strength and passion. Agyar is committed to transforming your employees into happier, more productive, and fulfilled individuals. When your team thrives, your business prospers. Wise leaders understand that providing team members with opportunities to shine in their strengths unlocks untapped potential. Elevate your team with Agyar Professional Training and witness the growth of your business.
From the Agyar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
Welcome back to Walk and Roll Live. I'm Doug. Addie is around here somewhere. You with me?
I'm with you.
There you
I'm
are.
with you.
And we have a return guest today. She was on in January 21st, if you want to go back and kind of get the background, because we're going to be talking about some of the same things, but different today. And I'll let her introduce herself once again. Just name, disability, where you're from, that kind of thing. And maybe we'll do a little recap for you.
Okay. Yeah, so this is Jen Larios, diagnosed with MS in 2021, and from a little town called Grand Terrace. And my new venture, which I think everybody that's chronically ill, some things we all have in common.
So do you feel like you've leaned into it a little more since we talked to you in January? Because, I mean, you were already leaning into it pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure of what portion of it I could be most effective in. And I'm kind of calling myself just a resource Rolodex, because I keep meeting new people all the time. I'm going to different events, speaking with different groups, some that I share a diagnosis with, some that I don't. Maybe it's that I use a wheelchair. And so that could be, many different reasons people are in a chair.
Yep.
So I'm kind of opening myself up to everything. And in doing so, I'm finding gaps in care, but I'm also seeing a lot of overlapping as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to bring everybody together.
That is an ongoing, endeavor that we're all under, I think, in this space. You know all about Rolling Start. You're a great advocate for us, and I appreciate that as a board member. But it's, we are a pretty good resource. I would even venture to say great if I can't, but we're always learning new things all the time. And adding that to our resource booklet, I saw something the other day. It was like, wow, check that off, check that, check. I gotta make sure Rolling Start knows about these things, But so the reason that we had you back is to get an update on you and to talk about this. What we've been talking about all August is invincible disabilities, and just what extra kind of layer there is when people can't see your disability. I mean, other people who have a disability that's obviously visible, they're in a chair, if they're walking with a cane to help them navigate, all those things are fairly apparent. But when you're not, do you feel like, that's why I want to ask you, do you feel like you're constantly explaining yourself or defending yourself? How does that go?
Yeah, I mean, even driving my car, people can't tell that, I use a wheelchair. They just see me pull into a parking spot and they're like, hey, you don't have blue hair. This is not for you. This is not your spot.
Yeah.
Until I get out. And then they're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I feel like this is Doug and I's like battle cry of like all of us that look quote unquote too young or whatever, right? Because if you see me at the airport and you didn't see me walk up to the wheelchairs, you don't think I need that. Now, if you watch me get there, you'd probably lay off, but you know.
Yeah, I tell them I'm sick. I'm not ugly. It's just sick.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that conversation is nonverbal. Everything you explained there, many times I've seen that, and it's all just the way they look at you, the realization when you get out of the car, and so.
Yeah.
The oh snap look on their face when they realize they better keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, I ran into it going to Target way back when there was an older lady and I was using the little cart inside the store, and she came up to me and told me to get out of it because she needed it. I was like,
yeah.
I do too.
It's interesting how it doesn't dawn on those kinds of people, because I'm sure there's other people that are probably judging you silently. But, to approach you like that, maybe you could start with, do you really need that? I have a disability. What's your disability? I don't even know. That doesn't seem right either.
I know. Like, can we please compare and decide who needs this more? Like, that doesn't also seem correct. It's just like, if it isn't available, don't try to kick somebody out for it because they probably took it for a reason.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we need go back to elementary school where we have the colors, what kind of day we're having. Is it a blue day, red day?
That would be helpful. And
right, exactly.
Is it different now that it's more visible because you're using the chair more now? We probably should share that with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I am slowly progressing, but no relapses. I'm just progressing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. But and then how people approach you, how has that changed? Because it's interesting. You've experienced 3. Being healthy, right, and then being diagnosed, but getting around better than now, where you need the chair. Now you're using the chair more, so you've had distinct different experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full closet. My mom calls me Barbie because I have so many accessories, canes, walkers, chair. But it's day by day, minute by minute sometimes. So yeah, right now it's just, I see a need and I go and find where somebody's getting met with that. So Rolling Start was a great one because there was a moment where I was having a hard time just getting out of bed, and Rolling Start said, well, we have lifts here, Hoyer lifts. So thanks to you, Doug, I was able to get that for a minute.
I love to hear those stories. Absolutely. So as you navigate all of this, do you feel, misunderstood, dismissed, judged, or any of those words?
I definitely did. That's why I felt like I needed to do something more, because if I feel like this and I feel like I'm loud enough that a lot of this feels like I was put in this position because I do have that gift of gab. So I just want to make it easier for other people who maybe aren't as vocal as me, and the invisible part of it. So I'm starting my own nonprofit called Chronically Ill, Ironically Chill, or Ill But Chill.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
So our mascot's a little ghost because, some of these are invisible. If you're just hearing my voice over the radio, you don't see the wheelchair. So, yeah, so that's definitely part of it. I do love things all spooky and a little bit cute. So this all kind of screams me.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a wink and a nod to you.
Yeah.
do you pick and choose sometimes when you reveal your disability?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to say I use it to my advantage,
No.
but I'm definitely, there's boundaries.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
people need to know, they will know, and how they find out. Yeah, I definitely choose when I let that information.
You know, we've talked about that here a number of times with different guests. It's kind of how you're approached can make a
Right.
difference, right?
Right. Yeah. Maybe when I'm on the sidewalk, you don't need to take 5 steps to the left to let me pass. 1 is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. So what has been the, say, most noticeable difference now that people can see, you know, it's more apparent?
Yeah. I'd say people are a lot softer. I think just given my voice, people think that I've got it figured out.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense. And I do. I don't necessarily think that that's a positive thing. I think strength and, I don't know, just being resilient is my default. You know,
Yeah.
the one that never had to be looked after because I can handle it on my own. Doesn't mean I wanted to, and doesn't mean that it was easy. It's just I do it well.
Yeah. And that's got to be tough when it's happens over a shorter period of time.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I'm just getting old. You know, everybody that gets old goes through it. As you age, you realize can't do the things that I used to be able to do. I need help from friends and my family a lot more for things that I used to just be able to take care of. And there's a little bit of grieving for the loss of that person. And, you know, then there's just frustration sometimes because you can't do the things that you used to do, and you have to process all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like Doug is getting a firsthand watch of me kind of doing that. And I mean, those people around me too, because I'm like, I don't want to use my chair. I want to have the balance I had 5 years ago. I want to walk into a room. I mean, you wobble into a room, whatever, but not feel like I have to be sitting or having a walker or something because I don't trust my balance. If you ask me something and you're to my left and I swing around, that I might also go down with it. And I think that's been really hard for me. The level of difference, I guess, or the level of like dependence.
So has that transition that we're talking about, is it, I feel like I'm poking a little bit, but I'm, you know, you've got some great insight into these things. So I wanted to share it with people, but do you feel like it's impacted your own sense of identity and independence?
Yes, but I mean, both positive and, I guess, not really a negative. It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
So the positives is uncovering hidden helpers. I know with Rolling Start, they offer food assistance as well, working and attending those mixers with possibilities. Those are things that weren't said out loud, but I mentioned it and somebody picked it up and said, hey, that's something I could use. Having the information and putting it out there is enough for some people. What I want my website to do is just be that Rolodex of resources. You can click on there and put in what you're looking for, almost like 211 does that as well.
Yeah.
But have the information out there and available to you. Maybe you don't know what you're looking for and you just want to comb through them and see what's out there. Then maybe
be ready for when you do need them. and know there's a place where you
Right.
can find them. Yeah.
Right. Or not even know that you need help with something until you see that there's a resource for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So what's some of the positive impacts? Have you learned some things about yourself that you like or that maybe you've worked on and you're really feeling like that's a new part of you that's emerging?
Yeah, I've always kind of been an advocate, never firsthand. This is now my fight. Been an advocate for somebody else or an idea, but nothing ever personally affected me.
Yeah. Do you know where that came from? Your pre-diagnosis when Jen was the fighter for other people, and it hasn't given that up, by the way, but it is also now a fighter for you because you have to.
Yeah. The first nonprofit volunteering thing that I ever did was at 12 years old. In junior high, I went and painted windows for the senior assisted living facilities, painting Christmas murals on the windows. So it's always been there. I think, growing up closer with my grandma, I think kind of made me a little more mature at a younger age. So kind of having that awareness.
So
I feel like though, like all of us are kind of born with that sparkle. It's like a weird, it sounds weird to say, but a weird thing in the disabled community that we all have a like compassion for others and a passion for helping others. Everybody I've met has always had some sparkle toward some compassion that maybe other people that haven't lived a little bit more of a challenge. I feel like Jen, like the universe kind of knew you had a bigger thing coming. So they're like, let's let her practice because this will matter. We only see in the lane that we're living in at that moment. But I believe that there's a wider picture seen. So they're like, let's practice. She doesn't know it yet, but this is going to be important.
Really having all these little events and, background. I mean, with possibilities alone, right after high school, I was a volunteer at the triathlon. So I had that pop up in my Facebook and some older stories pop up. And I was like, yeah, I was on the other end of this before.
So you were uniquely ready to take it on when you were diagnosed.
Yeah.
You were voluntold your new life. But I think that's cool because everybody's like that can be uncompassionate, can think, well, not me. It's not going to be me. It's, you can excuse so much of it ever happening to you. So it's kind of nice to have people see a full circle and say, you don't get to choose necessarily. So it's just better to start from a place of compassion.
Is there anything in particular that's been the most difficult adjustment?
The independent, putting myself up to being helped, been challenging. Almost like reprogramming myself. I know with it being neurological, I have to try to create new pathways, new ways to get body to move around. So with that, it's personality too. I was always a little bit more on the Wednesday Addams side of things.
I love it.
So
yes.
Now it's almost like my coping skills, my dark sense of humor. It makes more sense.
But we all need a Wednesday Addams sometimes, because then we don't all have to BS about the sunny side of the street all the time.
It sounds like you kind of answered my next question, which was, has there been anything that was unexpected that was positive, a positive thing that came out of the change in your life?
Yeah, I guess just making me softer because I did consider myself more rough around the edges. So a little more forgiveness for myself.
So let's talk about the foundation. Where's it at? Do you have a website that we can add to our page?
So right now I have an working Instagram, and it's really a lot of just posting other resources that are available out there. So sometimes it can be about children, sometimes, with the heat, it's been a lot of cooling centers and right now, I think when that we've preparedness, right now it's just the Instagram and having people reach out and asking. I did specifically ask if there was any gap. So I'm posting on Instagram, and with that, it's a lot of reposting from other companies. So there are cooling centers on there. I asked for any pending requests if anybody needs help with anything. So right now I'm working with one person specifically.
So what would you tell somebody that's going through this now, has been dealt these cards, as Addie likes to say, and do you have some tips on how to play the cards?
Let people know that you're not alone. There is a lot out there. Maybe you don't have the right questions. You don't even know that there are questions that you need to be asking, but you just need to start talking. Finding a community is big. So just seeing what's out there. Maybe it starts with your doctor's office. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's just a post you put online and let people come to you. Yeah. Maybe you're the good in somebody else's life and you can't see the good in yours.
Well said. And support groups, they're so helpful. You just open that dialogue and that's where you start to learn, about Absolutely. The resources out there, about, what's going on with you. You're not alone. Other people have gone through this and they can help you and they want to help you.
You are not a burden.
Yeah.
I think that's getting over that hump, is the believing that you're worthy of somebody's time and attention to help you.
100%.
And then the other side of that coin, maybe talk to our listeners who think they're entitled to the cart over somebody else at the store, maybe a way they can have a little more grace in that situation.
I don't know what the trick is to that. I haven't found that one yet.
Yeah. Take a beat and think about an alternative to whatever is going through your mind that you would say that. Think about what's this person going through?
And why not you? Yeah. As much as it's why not you for the good things, it's also why not you for the things that are a little bit cloudier. And if you can think of that and take a pause, that there's so much beneath the person that you're saying that's taking your cart, then grace is important.
Yeah, I did have, I'd emailed my doctors at Stanford, basically just thanks for helping me. And I found this quote and it had asked, the question isn't why me, the question is why not me? What makes me so special that something bad couldn't happen to me? I think why not me is because I do have a fight in me. I can make those requests. I can try to change things. And I can help. I think I can help a lot more people, whether or not I directly benefit or not. I think I can do a lot more than just me.
Well, we are here to join you in your fight. So if you ever need any help, you know where to reach out and we'll do whatever we can.
We got you.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on Walk and Roll Live.
Each week on Walk and Roll Live, we share honest and open stories of people living with a disability.
I was excited to show my family just how much better of a skier I got to be. So we went up on December 30th. Then the next morning, I woke up 10 out of 10 pain. Chest, back, head. I slowly lost all feeling from my feet all the way up to my chest, that I was paralyzed, essentially. I didn't understand what was happening. All I knew is that something scary was going on. And
join us weekly for another powerful episode. Walk and Roll Live, wherever you get your podcasts. Life Limitless. Subscribe now.
From the Ugyar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
The morning light spills across the floor. I take a deep breath and think about what's ahead. Most days I'm moving without a hitch. Sometimes my body taps me on the shoulder and says, slow it down for a while. The day is mine. I've got people I love and people who love me back. I get to chase what matters and laugh until I can't breathe. Some days I pause, but I never stop. I'm rolling with it.
We've got some final thoughts before we go. We'll start with you.
So it's a great conversation with Jen, especially I feel like Jen has had an evolution over my sitting with you, because Jen was kind of, I wasn't exactly new, but new-ish, and obviously I have a personal tie to it with my dad having MS. So it's fascinating to kind of watch Jen change over time, and like you said, being perhaps a little more invisible in the beginning, and now being much more visible and having to be dependent. And you know, she's independent. She's got a super independent streak, and it's interesting to see how that independence has morphed from her body's ability to be independent to her mind turning into a helper, right? So I think that's what's fascinating about the story. What do you use when your body kind of betrays you?
And I find that the people who come to disability later in life, or have a loved one who does, become a bit more evangelical about it. You know, I guess for me, I'll only speak for me, you know, I've lived with it my whole life. So there's not this real intense fighter in me to like fight for the community. I've come to it later in life and doing my best to do what I can. And of course, this podcast is a part of that, you know, but man, there are people that if their curb's too high, they're going to raise hell. It's like, and we need everybody, you know, I'm not faulting them for doing that. We need all types.
Well, okay, question, because I think in my own experience, we as a young person, I wanted to assimilate and blend in. We've talked about this. I was much more of the wallflower. I kind of want you to see me as just me, but not my disability. And until like reuniting with you, now the disability is much more a comfortable part of me that I feel like I would seek that community, right? Whereas in the beginning, not like mom and dad said, don't talk about it. But I was stuck out there as a poster child, little. And then it was kind of like, well, I just want to go to school and be with my friends and be like my friends. So maybe now when you've been given this abrupt change, you have like the anger behind why you were dealt the change. You know, a lot of our guests talk about, how do I cope with this? Or like the grief or the anger, or you know what I mean? And I can't say that I have that. I have sadness that I can't drive, but that would be the only rock in my shoe, which sounds funny, but it's true.
No. I've said that forever. You know, I don't feel like I've missed anything. You know, sure. I'd love to ride a bike. I'd love to ride a motorcycle. I'd love to do a lot of things that I can't do. And but I've had the sensation of riding with somebody, so I know that sensation. Oh, geez, I can remember sitting, I don't know who it was, a buddy of mine, just throw me up on the handlebars of a bike when we were younger.
Yeah.
I giggled like a toddler. And I couldn't stop. That feeling was just, I was just giggling, you know, and I was probably 10, 11, 12 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I feel like when you're, and this is me just being weird. I feel like when you're born with a disability, you get like the insert into your soul that says, be kind, be gentle, like in general, right? We have a sunny side of the street. We tend to be that kind of way, right? Whereas I feel like if people come to it in the middle, they aren't necessarily given that piece to naturally.
They have to find it.
You have to find it, and it really, I can understand being so angry over the fact that this happened to you, because you and I always say, yes, we cope with being us, but I don't know that I could cope with being different if I woke up different.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I mean, I feel like sometimes maybe there's a bonus part that we get in our souls to just ride with it, like be kind of chill. Mm-hmm. And maybe if it were abruptly ripped from me to be different than who I was, that chills piece might break off.
And I certainly don't judge those people who come to it later in life, and whatever your experience is, however you're handling it, I know you're doing the best you can, and
exactly.
Sometimes it takes a while and all of that. And again, I truly hope that the guests that we have on that are at some point in that journey find this helpful, because
for sure, and that it's a safe space, and you don't have to play happy and sunny side of the street all the time. You can say GD and all those things, and we'll listen and sit. We're willing to sit in the dark because we understand that dark feels really dark.
Yeah. And I think if you listen to enough of these, we find the people that are new to it, and and it comes through that they're still struggling, some, more or less than others. And then we see the light and the joy from people who have made it beyond that point. And even we'll say, I have my rough days, but you can just tell in their life when they're talking about what their life is now that they're a light. They're a light for other people. They're a joy for other people. They're that turning point for other people that are
100%. Everybody we've interviewed, I want to climb through the computer. Like the computer gets so frustrating because I just want to hug everybody. I'm a hugger. Sorry, I touch everybody, but you know what I mean? Like you see it. You see me get choked up. You see me want to like hug them or protect them in some way, but it's because they deserve to be that light. Everybody, every container has a light.
Yeah. And I'm going to make this turn right here because we've started to talk about this a lot. Here is, if you haven't found your community yet, there's lots of opportunities to find your community wherever you live. We happen to be, I'm in Southern California, Addie is in Atlanta, and, we kind of know about these areas and would like to know more about your area, so we'd love for you to send stuff. But the stuff that I have on our website, go looking for it. If you're here in Southern California, go attend some of these events and find people that can, help you move through this process, and look for it in your community as well. But Triumph Superheroes Run is coming up. Antithesis, we're having our casino night. It's a fundraiser, and we'll have our participants there as well. Rancho Los Amigos having their spinal injury games, which is a traditional thing. Possibilities grants are now coming to a close for this year. August 31st is when they'll close those up. So, and all of this that I'm talking about is on our events page. All of this and more. These are just the things that are coming fairly soon. And there's some that are more later in October and that kind of thing. So go check it out. And we've got more resources up. Every new guest, a lot of times they've got a new resource and we put it up there. So go looking for all that stuff. All right. You got anything else?
Yeah. They need to press like, subscribe, all those things. You can send us mail too. I'll cheer you on via email.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to.
It's all on the website, walkandrolllive.com. Yeah. And next week, thinking here, we've got a few already prepared. So next week is, I believe, Jeff Whittle in Silver Strong Gym. I think we'll be talking about that. Yeah. Next week, right? Next week's the 2nd? Or close that?
Yes. I'm getting so excited. We're heading to fall. I can't believe it, but oh my God, my favorite time is around the corner.
Yeah. Me too. It's a toss-up between spring and fall, but I think I probably lean towards fall a little bit too. Yep. All righty. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Doug Vincent, with Addie Rich from the Aguiar Professional Training Studio. This has been Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories, Life Limitless.
Walk and roll live.